Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now March 4th of 2022, and ever since the very end of the Book of Boba Fett, of course, a lot of Star Wars fans have been very intrigued about what's to come by both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni with The Mandalorian Season 3, the Ahsoka Tano series, the Kenobi TV series as well by Deborah Chow. I mean, ever since that Boba Fett show, I think that there was a lot of mixed reactions, and a lot of fans just want to see something far better than what we got. And I'm not saying that the Book of Boba Fett was necessarily a horrible experience. It was just a TV show that had a lot of flaws within it. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So it's even all the more exciting right now is that we just have a couple of more days until the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV trailer drops, alright? Of course, for a lot of fans to witness the return of Ewan McGregor, new Star Wars characters and such, the TV series trailer for Obi-Wan is finally complete. It's all done. It's just got to be released, and it's coming in just a short number of days. So that's another thing to look forward to as well. Now, on top of all of this, what's even all the more exciting is that we have, of course, George, John, and Dave working on a lot of Star Wars Legends material that's going to make its way back into the Star Wars universe. A lot of aspects of the Thrawn trilogy, Dark Empire, the New Jedi Order books, Shadows of the Empire. A lot of those, which are considered the highlights of Legends, are going to be inserted into the mandoverse and into other different eras of the Star Wars universe that's being created by Disney. Now, obviously, a lot of fans are going to love this. Other fans are not going to necessarily like that because they want things to be accurate 100%. But George, John, and Dave are making adjustments to that in order to fit things in with this new timeline. So on top of all of this, what's even all the more intriguing has everything to do with Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy and exactly what's going on with Bob Chapek. Now, with the Ahsoka Tano series now getting ready to begin filming with numerous sets being built for the show, creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are also working on a host of new shows that will be unveiled at Star Wars Celebration this May. However, it's described that currently one of the major plans by Disney CEO Bob Chapek is to replace Kathleen Kennedy as the Lucasfilm president with somebody else by the end of this year that will go into full effect by early 2023 in order to put things into effect earlier than expected. Now, this is already described to be moving along very well between Bob Chapek and the Disney board members, and that they all agree that Kathleen Kennedy needs to be replaced from the company. Now, further, it's described, however, that Bob Chapek is said to have been in the talks with a total of 5 individuals about replacing Kathleen Kennedy as president, 2 of which were both Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. With Jon Favreau interested in taking this offer, it's something that doesn't sound so likely right now, since Favreau wants to stick with writing for Star Wars series. However, Dave Filoni has also been approached by handling the Lucasfilm company, of course, as a president and becoming the new one. In fact, it's actually something that George Lucas wants for Filoni as the permanent fill-in. So let me just stop right there for 1 second. Now that kind of makes more sense when Dave Filoni is the one that is wanted by George Lucas to become the new president. And if you look at Dave Filoni, he is the protege of George. I mean, he is the true adaptation of what George Lucas wanted to do, but he didn't necessarily want to get super involved with Star Wars, so he handed a lot of it over to Dave Filoni. And that's what I like about Dave Filoni. He's got a lot of George Lucas's nature in his mind. And I'm not saying that Jon Favreau doesn't. He also does too. But I think that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are different in their own great and amazing ways. They both have their strengths and weaknesses, and we've gone over their strengths and weaknesses before in the past. I think that Dave Filoni is really much, more embedded within the Star Wars lore and, the real deep Star Wars lore that a lot of fans might not even know about. So Dave Filoni knows pretty much everything about everything when it comes to Legends, the Star Wars canon, the abandoned concepts by George Lucas when they were making Legends material back in the 90s and the 2000s. I mean, the list goes on. This guy is full of knowledge about the franchise, and Dave Filoni is where it's at when it comes to lore. Now, Jon Favreau is just as knowledgeable, but he's not as knowledgeable when it comes to that real in-depth, Star Wars lore that really takes a lot of researching. So on top of all of this, alright, so Disney actually already has big plans for Lucas to temporarily serve as president of Lucasfilm before the permanent fill-in comes into play. The 3 other individuals are said to actually be also in the talks with Bob Chapek that will come to light in the next couple of weeks. One of those are said to be Kevin Feige, while the other 2 remain unknown. Nonetheless, Disney and the board members have this plan all mapped out, and they are now finally ready to let go of Kathleen Kennedy, given that they are now, of course, getting people who hold an interest in taking the role of Lucasfilm president. The problem in 2021 is that they couldn't find anybody to replace her right away. Even FAVREAU and Filoni was eventually out of the picture after they dropped their offer, of course, and forcing Disney to stick with Kathleen Kennedy for the meantime. Now, Disney realizes that Kathleen Kennedy and her vision of Star Wars does not stick with the fans and is only causing further damage to the brand. Now, both Filoni and Favreau are said to have further talks with Chapek about replacing Kennedy as president of Lucasfilm, and that they are also going to have to make a final decision by this summer before Chapek moves on to the other 3 candidates. Now, about Kevin Feige, alright? Kevin Feige also held some interest, but seems to be tied up with the Marvel Universe. It could very well point to the 2 other candidates that will come to light in the next couple of weeks for fans to witness. Kathleen Kennedy is said to be aware of this entire plan by Bob Chapek and isn't happy about it and has even tried to cancel these plans. Now, on top, of everything of what's going on here, the thing about Kevin Feige, he is somebody that I wouldn't really want to be the president of Lucasfilm. Now, no offense toward people who love Kevin Feige, really kind of bringing Marvel in the direction that it's going in. But I just feel that Kevin Feige is really not the greatest choice in my book. I think that if anything, it should really be Dave Filoni. But let's be realistic here. Dave Filoni's creating Star Wars TV shows. He's writing, he's directing with John and other creators out there. I just don't really see Dave or John becoming president. I don't see that happening. Let's be really realistic here. I don't really see how they could even possibly do that. So I think it really points to the 2 other candidates that we're going to learn about in the next couple of weeks. They most likely are very well-known producers that we're currently unaware of. Who knows exactly who they are at the moment, but the 2 others, apart from Kevin Feige, are said to have big interest in taking over the role as president of Lucasfilm and are very much in depth with the Star Wars lore and know what the Star Wars fans want. And at the end of the day, that's what you need. You need a president that's going to have a lot of knowledge about the franchise. The problem with Kathleen Kennedy is that she doesn't really know anything about Star Wars. She doesn't really know anything about what Star Wars is, what it stands for, what the Star Wars community really is at heart. I don't really think that she knows how Star Wars impacts people on a personal level. I don't think that she realizes that, exactly how, specifically. George, John, and Dave, they get the whole picture. And given that Disney already has plans to fill in Lucas as, the president of Lucasfilm temporarily next year, that's not the permanent solution. So the permanent solution absolutely needs to be not just a hardcore Star Wars fan or a casual fan or at that, but needs to have a really good, business mindset, how to handle the overall company on a business level positively and creatively as well, and really getting embedded within all of that. So let me know what you guys think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.